Okay, so I have an agenda that I will go ahead and share my screen with you. And while I'm getting that set up, my name is Crystal Valero. I am the chair of the Professional Development Committee. My committee is with me as well today, so thank you for my committee members being here as well. They are a wonderful group of people who have been extremely helpful, and I couldn't have gotten here today without them, so I appreciate them. So this is a file I uploaded into the chat, which some people aren't able to access. So I want to work on that at the end of our presentation. If you want to, what I tell my students, if they're unable to access any information, if you have your cell phone, you can take a picture of this, but I will be emailing this to you as well as trying to upload it again into the chat. So the first thing I want to talk about is the agenda was emailed this morning, and I'll show you where that is in just a moment. Our conference is still this Thursday, January 14th. I have been getting emails from faculty and staff members making sure to confirm that. So if you do hear from anyone contacting you, yes, it still is the 14th from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock. There are 3 time blocks. We've got 9:15 to 10, 10:15 to 11, and 11:15 to 12. The agenda does show which time block you're in, and I will go over that as well in just a moment. What I do want you to be mindful of is if you're in the first block, it ends at 10, and the next block doesn't start till 10:15. So what's nice is there's a 15-minute delay. So if you are participating in one of the presentations and then you have to present next, what's nice is you'll have that 15 minutes to, get things set up for yourself. Or if you're filling out a survey at the end or trying to help do Q&As at the end, what's nice is we have that 15-minute buffer. So the duration is 45 minutes. So for example, you can do a 40-minute presentation with 5-minute Q&A. So just so you know, everyone's session is 45 minutes long, and you can break that up any way you see fit. So the agenda is located in the email and in the Professional Development Blackboard page. So I'm going to go to my email. And it was sent today, the 12th at 8:41 from the Communications Marketing Committee. It said Professional Development Agenda. Sorry about that. Okay, so you can download this file to view.
Hey, Crystal.
Yes.
This is Ryan here. I'm not able to see your email if you have it up. I don't know if other people
Okay.
are able to see it.
You know what? I don't see the recording screen around. So let me, sorry, I mean the share screen. So give me just a moment. I'm going to unshare. I'm going to reshare again. You're going to see your faces. Let's try this. Actually, no, I'm going to do something different.
Looks
Okay,
good.
now you should see it. I'm not sure what happened. And just so you know, if this happens to you on Thursday, please don't get flustered or upset. Everyone knows we've all been there. This is something new for all of us. And even Microsoft Teams, to be honest, I've never used it before. So it's going to be my first time as well. So it's just, playing around. You do have the ability to play around in these Teams rooms if you'd like, and I can always show that later. And see, what's nice is, you will have people in your presentation or your moderators always there to help you out. So again, this was sent today at 8:41. If you did not see this, let me know at the end of our orientation today, and I can send out a personal email to you if you are not able to find that. So when you download this file, let's see, I'm going to download it again. So in this file, we have our welcome. So here you'll see all your titles are colored in blue because these are hyperlinked. So if you are doing the stress to the max, you can click on here and actually go to your Microsoft Teams page. That'll bring you to that presentation site. So this works as well. But please make sure, go through this so you can see what time you've been blocked for, if this is your first time seeing the agenda. So I'm just scrolling through so you can see it. Moderators, one thing we'll be talking about a little bit later on in the orientation is this survey for the conference we'll be looking at and each individual presentation surveys. And again, I'll go over that so you can see it. And then we just have the synopsis for each of those listed below. So again, this is the agenda for the day. Time blocks are on the left-hand side here with what presentations are happening during that time. So that, you know, if you want to go to someone else's presentation or to see when yours is, it's all there. Presenters' names are listed as well as your moderators. So you may want to make note of who your moderator is and get in contact with them. And I'll talk about that more at the end as well. If you want to go over your presentation, I've done that in the past before. I've been a moderator for a presenter and we met, you know, a half hour before the presentation and they just kind of told me what they were looking for me to do besides what was already given as seen fit. Okay. Another place, and this is probably only accessible to faculty and staff of Morrisville, another place you can get the agenda. And again, please let me know if at any time, if you can no longer see the screen I'm showing you. So I'm going to the Morrisville website. I'm going to I am a faculty staff. So again, this is another location where the agenda is. Under professional development, the winter conference is right here. So you can click on this file, it'll open up the same exact file. As well as on the left-hand side of the pane, it says Winter 2021 Professional Development Agenda. You can click here too, and I have it listed there as well. So I have a few places in case you don't want to go through your email and try to search for it, or you can go here as well. So I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for everyone involved. So I'm just going to pause there and just go back to the agenda I created. So the next thing I have is Microsoft Teams link locations for presenters. So there was an email invite from two of our committee members. We've got Ryan Quinn and Sonam. They sent those out, I believe, between last Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, and they can correct me if I'm wrong. But they sent an email invite with the title of the presentation, I believe the time and survey links, and I'll show you mine in just a moment.
Crystal, I think your screen is not showing again.
Oh, you're right, it's not. And
yeah.
So here's what I'll tell you. Here's how I know it's not showing. When I'm sharing my screen, there's a red box around my whole screen. And with Ryan telling me that, I'm looking at my screen now and the red box is gone. It could be because I've chosen, so when I was first sharing my screen, I chose to share this Word document. And then when I went to a website, it no longer shared. So for those that have used Teams before, I'm assuming maybe the better thing to do is maybe just share my whole computer screen and not individual tabs. I think that's what I'm doing.
And I'll just say, Crystal, this is Jason.
Yes,
when you go to share, it's all the way on the far left. It'll say share desktop, and then as you go in and out of any document or website, that screen will remain viewable for the audience.
Oh, okay. So Jason, will you? And I love this because this is how we help each other out. Can you say that one more time?
Sure. When you're sharing something, when you go to share content, it'll give you several choices, and on the far left, it should say desktop, and then right above that, even just a point of information, if you're sharing a video or your sound, if you're playing a video, there's a toggle between include computer sound.
Okay.
So for example, if you're playing a TED Talk and you want to share your screen and the sound, you would select desktop and then toggle the include computer sound as well. So that's just an option, so you don't have to go in and out of single documents.
Okay, and I'll make sure, so let me go ahead and do the share desktop. So I do have YouTube videos, like short 1-minute videos to show you how to record, how to share. And what I'll do is, Jason, I'll try to find a video that talks exactly about what you're talking about, where if you have to toggle between different formats, be it Word documents or PowerPoints or websites, I'll make sure I embed a video for everyone so that they know exactly what Jason was talking about, so they actually see a visual of it. So I'm going to make that note right now. Okay. So the Microsoft Team link location. So essentially how you got here today, the orientation, you clicked on a link, possibly in your calendar, or you had it in your email, or you opened up your Microsoft Teams app. So there's different ways to get to those. So I just have those listed there. And again, you should have seen those. So I want to go ahead and show you mine. So this is, I think this is Outlook 365. So this is the Outlook I use. I know some other people use a different version of it. So when I go to my calendar, this is the visual that I see. And I'm doing a presentation on Thursday at 11:15. So if I click on this, and let's see. Sorry. And I enlarge this. So in the emails that were sent last week to invite you to your presentation, it will have your presentation title, presenter, your moderator, the summary of your presentation, and then here's a session survey link. So this is something that we're asking our moderators to, so between today and Thursday, if you want to find this link, and save it in a Word document or wherever is easiest for you, so that at the end of the presentation, when your presenter is done and we're done with the Q&As, you can then share this link in the chat to then have all the participants fill out for that presentation. And I do have a YouTube video showing how to share information in the chat. So again, I just went to my calendar. I opened up my presentation. It had my survey link and other information. And again, share this session survey link at the end of the presentation that you will be moderating. Okay. So just going back to my document. So I just talked about the presentation survey link locations. It's in the email invite or in your calendar. So presenter. So I have information here on how to present a PowerPoint in Microsoft Teams. So definitely watch these 2 YouTube videos. They're extremely helpful. I thought it was just, you join Microsoft Teams, you share your page and then start your PowerPoint. You can do it that way if you've ever been in a presentation. If you just share your PowerPoint presentation, your audience will see not only your slide, but all your single slides that are on the left-hand side. And for some people, it's a little bit overwhelming looking. So if you follow these videos, it will show you how to upload your PowerPoint into Microsoft Teams. And then what's nice is your presentation will be full screen. And these 2 videos, they do an extremely wonderful job going step by step to show you how that works. I am going to try to see if I can do it myself now that Jason has helped me with sharing my desktop. We'll see if I can do it with you guys. I'm assuming you can see your lovely faces and names. I'm seeing Paula shaking her head yes. So one thing you can do is we have, I If I stop sharing, it may not show what I thought. I honestly, I did this earlier. I was playing with it, it worked, and as I'm actually doing it, it's not, I don't think it's going to work the way I want it to. But let me just try something. So ideally what I need to show you is if I click on the sharing option, it's going to pull up options for me to share. And unfortunately, if I click that button, it'll stop sharing and it won't share what I'm looking for. So please make sure when I send you that document, definitely watch that YouTube video. It's just literally you click the share options and you'll see a PowerPoint section at the bottom. It'll give you options to like share your desktop screen or PowerPoint. You'll click on your PowerPoint and it'll download your PowerPoint. It takes probably 10 seconds to download into the Microsoft Teams meeting. So remember how you have that 15-minute buffer? If you want to go ahead and do it then, or between now and Thursday. So I actually accessed this Microsoft Teams meeting 2 hours ago. I was playing in here 2 hours ago. I just clicked join and I was playing around to make sure things were working. So just so you know, you can go into these meetings even if it's not occurring at that moment and just kind of play around and try stuff out. And then one thing you may want to do, presenters, you may want to email your documents, your PowerPoint, if you're choosing to share it, any web links and any PDFs to your moderators so that they can upload it into the chat. So I have most people here today. If you're not sure how to contact your moderator, you can always email me and I can definitely give you their email to help one another out. So please let me know what you need in order to do that. Or even at the end of the orientation today, we can, if you want to, talk to each other within the chat or here. So now on to the moderator. We'll have you click record at the start of the presentation and inform attendees that you're recording in case they want to turn off their cameras. And I have a quick YouTube video. I always try to make my YouTube videos less than 2 minutes. So this is just where the record button is if you need that help and guidance. You can ask attendees to mute themselves, which you guys have wonderfully have done because we don't hear anyone. Introduce speakers. So if you want to talk beforehand, just make sure you have the name properly or where they're working from. You'll have that information handy. I know this is always hard for me. Keep sessions operating on time. So if you could notify the presenters when there's 5 minutes left in the presentation. Or if you talk with your presenter and moderator, if you want to stop 10 minutes or 15 minutes before the end time, that's fine as well. Or some people like to know 15-minute increments. So you have some options there and you can work that out with one another. And then moderators, we'll have you manage the Q&A if anyone's asking questions in the chat. I've seen people hand rate questions down. I find it easier to have my phone handy. So I'll have my phone with me. And then what I'll do is I'll take pictures of the chat so that I don't have to keep scrolling and looking for questions. So again, I find what's really helpful is to have my phone handy, take any pictures of questions so that it's a much more manageable way to see what questions you want to focus on. One thing I know I've had seen in the past is definitely remind your participants a few times that questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. If your presentation, if you want yours differently, let's say you do a 10-minute presentation and then you want to do a Q&A after that, just make sure your participants are aware and your moderators aware if you want to do questions during the presentation. But typically we find it's a lot easier to keep on task and on time if you save the questions for at the end. And then moderators, you'll provide general support for presenters and participants. So if your presenter has a few documents that they want you to share, you can go ahead and share those in the chat. And I have how to do that at the end of this worksheet. And one thing I will do is I will reach out to all the presenters after Thursday to then also send me their documents as well. And then I will upload those into our professional development Blackboard page so that other people who weren't able to attend will also have access to any files that were shared. And then moderators will have you copy paste the presentation survey link into the chat for participants to complete at the end of the presentation. So moderators, a couple things. So anything we want to share, we'll put that in the chat and the survey in the chat. And then I have a nice picture here. How to share documents in the chat. So when you're in your conference meeting, you'll click on this picture here that looks like a little speaker box. And then you'll see the chat over on the right-hand side. And then there's a little attachment file for you to attach any files. I do know there were some people that did not see the chats. So at this moment, I've gone over what I have outlined for today. So if we want to open this up for questions and answers, so we can do that. But I wanted to start maybe the first question of, if someone does not see this meeting chat, does anyone know what to do in that case? And I'll stop sharing so we can help out.
I'll go. This is Paula Ford from AmeriQ. I don't have the ability to access the chat box, but I know that I'll have a chance with my colleague Tab and Chris Deo, who we've worked with many times before. She's our moderator, so we'll make sure that she can upload the presentation and then the survey. I did have a quick question about the survey, because it seems like there's one offered by SUNY Morrisville for all the presentations. We do have our own. I have no problem using either one of those.
Paula, would you be willing to do both?
Sure. Yep, I
So
sent
that
them
you
already.
can have, oh, okay, great. So that you can have your data and information, and then we can have ours as well.
Okay. Yep. And I'll discuss it with my colleague too. We may just leave ours out in this particular case, so it's not too cumbersome for the participants.
Understandable.
We love surveys, but
And we're going to share, so just so that everyone knows, presenters, once we get the survey data, we will send that out too. So you will have that as well. So if you are looking to use that, for any training purposes, or just to have in file, or for more professional development, we'll have that for you to have on hand. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I will, one thing I had to do this morning is I actually had to shut down my laptop and restart it because there were updates I didn't realize it needed. So I would recommend, maybe before you present on Thursday, to shut down your laptop and then let it reboot in case there's anything that needs to be updated. And I've had a few instances where students, I've been online with them chatting, and they're like, Miss Fuller, I can't see you, my camera's not working. And then I've actually had them restart their computer, boot it back up, and then we've had no issues. So I do recommend that. Actually, I'll put that in their little, okay, you can see this. So I'll send that, the agenda I went through today, to everyone, and I'll add that in as well.
Crystal,
Yeah.
this is Melissa Ward. I just
Hi,
wanted
Melissa.
to provide another quick tip for those who may not have been using Teams very often. Because I also, for some odd reason, I'm not seeing the chat either, which doesn't usually happen to me. But there is the raise your hand feature at the top of everyone's screen. There's a little hand. I have mine raised right now, so you should be able to see my name. So if a moderator wanted to ask those who have questions to raise their hand, they can then call on them and then have people lower their hands as they go through the questions.
great idea. I'm also adding that to the list too. Thanks, Melissa. That was very helpful.
Sure.
And this is what I love. The Professional Development Committee, we're all brand new this year, so we're all learning from one another. So I really appreciate the camaraderie that I've seen with everyone, and I was hoping to see that here as well. You know, I want you to speak up. If there's any tips or tricks that you have, we are more than willing to, you know, listen to those and help one another out. And what's nice is, you know, we do have a day buffer in between, you know, today and Thursday. You know, if you do try going into your Microsoft Teams to kind of play around with stuff. And if there's any issues, you can contact me, email me, and if I can't figure something out, you know, I can then send it out to everyone else to help you. And I don't want you to get nervous or stressed out and be, you know, I've never used Teams. You know, it is a learning curve for everyone, and it's totally fine. You know, we want you to enjoy the day, present the information that you have, you know, to help everyone out, our faculty and staff, and all these different topics that you're covering. So I think that's more what we're excited about, is just what content you have to share with everyone. And don't worry about all these, you know, technical features that might get in your way. I don't want you to, you know, stress over those types of things.
Hi, Crystal. This is Sonam. Regarding the chat, to join from the guests who are not in the invite list. So it says there are some settings which has to be done by the admin. So I'm discussing with the admin, our tech team, so if they can allow everyone to join the chat channel who are not in the invited list. So once I get the update from him, so I will update you all maybe separately on how they can join the chat channel as well.
Okay, so Sonam, when you set up those links for each of the presenters and moderators, we have to do some editing there. So
yeah, looks like
okay.
Yes. So basically, only those who are in the invite list, they can join the chat, but those who are not there, so they cannot join the chat list. So what I'm doing now is I'm talking to our system admin if they can help us to get those allowed to everyone as a guest.
I will tell you this. I know Paula and Sylvia, I think you two ladies were saying you can't access the chat. I do know when I sent the invite, I put you in as optional people to attend, not in the mandatory or required. So Sonam, maybe that could be part of it too, is they were part of the optional section of the invite instead of the required section.
Okay, I'm not very sure, but I'll check with them and get back to this. So if we can share, if we can allow everyone to join the chat channel so that they can chat and help. But I think as of now, only those people who are in the invite list can join the chat channel.
Okay, great. Thanks, Sonam. I appreciate that. Was there anything else anyone needs help with or would like to mention? Anyone from the committee have anything that they wanted to share or say or question?
Crystal, I just want to mention that Dr. Rogers will be jumping in on the live to give his welcome from the link that you provided already. So that's confirmed.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And then thanks for pulling all this together. Appreciate it.
Thanks. And just a reminder, you know, if anyone asks anyone, yes, we're still having this professional development conference this Thursday, the 14th. It has not been changed to the 28th, which might have been seen in a previous email somewhere.
Crystal, do you think maybe we should send out that announcement again that it is still happening? I know it went out this morning, but maybe just so people don't always read the stuff that comes from ComMark. So I don't know, maybe Jason, we can implore you to send it out.
I could. Do you want me to piggyback the same email just for me, or the one that already went out and just say, just a reminder, this is taking place this day? Would that work?
Yeah, I think so.
Just
it had the agenda in it, so I think, you know, people just need to get that agenda. They can. Right.
So just for the same email and just say, just a reminder, this is taking place on Thursday.
Yeah, I think that.
Do you want me to do it? Do you want me to do it tomorrow? Because you already sent it out today, just to do it in the morning. Does it matter on the timing?
I'm
No.
okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yes, we'll do.
Rita, did you have your hand up? Yes, Rita.
Yes, I just wanted to, Jason, when you send the email, if just notify that it is happening, because I know when I got that today, I thought that we were just waiting until there's an announcement coming, and that maybe it still wasn't happening. So
Okay,
I
so-
know even when I read it, just from all the meetings I was in, I understood that it was definitely going to be postponed. So even the email today, I didn't think it was actually happening. So
Okay,
I just wonder
maybe I
how many
should
other
send it
people
out.
are
I
thought that
certainly,
also.
I can certainly send it now then. I'll just send it right now as we're talking in the meeting, if is that?
And I could be the only one who thought that. I just thought
No.
for sure from the meetings I was in
Yep.
that Dr. Rogers had said that it was like we're postponing everything. We're, once we hear from SUNY, we're postponing everything. So I thought for sure that we were just moving forward until we knew if we were, the classes were going to start later.
I will send that right now.
Thanks, Jason. And thank you, Rita. And Rita, we were having that discussion too. We were asked if we wanted to push it back, but we do have outside members presenting and we don't want them to have to change their schedule. And if they do push back the beginning of the semester, now we have an extra 2 weeks, we've learned something. Now it's not like, oh, next week we start classes. It's like, oh, I can actually maybe digest what these presenters have given us so that we can maybe hopefully incorporate them, into our personal lives or professional lives. And a little shout out, we will also have a professional development conference at the end of the spring semester. So if you're also thinking about, maybe presenting again on the same topic, if you got great feedback and people say we want to see this again, please reach out to me and let me know if you do want to, probably in the month of May, maybe keep your calendars open if you want to do another presentation to, again, help our community. Is that considered a shameless plug? Any other questions that anyone has?
Crystal, this is Ryan here. I just want to say to the group, if anyone at all has any qualms about presenting in teams, I would be fine taking some time to meet with you one-on-one and walk through. I've taught through teams quite a bit this past year. And so if you have any anxiety at all, if you just want to do a practice run, just shoot Crystal or myself an email and I'd be glad to schedule a session with you and go through all the tips and tricks. So just reach out. We're here to help and make sure this goes really smooth.
Ryan, can I also add on to that? If you do get anyone that does sign up with you to do a run through, would you be willing to maybe record it so we can use it for future presentations? Or maybe I can also share it with everyone in our presentation committee and moderators?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Crystal, this is Stephanie.
Yes,
I'm also
Stephanie.
happy to do that, having used Teams a number of meetings, and for the student success seminars, I trained presenters who didn't know anything about Teams how to use it for their sessions.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephanie. And same with you if you want to record that. And actually, I want, now that Ryan and Stephanie have offered that, I know in the document I'm going to email out in a little bit, I do have some YouTube videos to help you out. But if anyone has any YouTube videos that they've used for Microsoft Teams that they're willing to share with me, I can also add that into the document that I have so that when I email it out, you have, a couple of different options. You have YouTube videos, or you'll have, hopefully these one-on-one sessions as well that I can share in the future. And please, if there's anything that we miss in this orientation that you forgot to ask, you get off later today and you have your second cup or third cup of coffee and the kids are running around and you're like, oh, I forgot to ask this. please don't hesitate to email myself or anyone on the committee if you did forget to ask some type of question, or if we think of something to share, we'll make sure we share it with you.
I just sent the email out.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jason. And this is being recorded, so once this is available, I will also share this as well. All right. So I would say this is the end of our orientation. If you need to leave to go on to other things, you are welcome to do so. If you want to stay for another moment or two for any other maybe individual questions that we can try to help you out with, we can do that as well. So thank you, everyone. We are super excited to see everyone on Thursday. We're excited about your presentations and all the effort you've put into your presentations. So we really, really appreciate all of you for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Have a nice
everybody.
day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Great
you.
Thanks,
job.
Crystal.
Thank you. Bye-bye.